Anti-government protesters in Thailand target more ministries. Are you in Thailand? Send us your pictures and experience, but please stay safe. Bangkok, Thailand, CNN. Thousands of anti-government demonstrators aim to keep up pressure on the Thai government on Wednesday by surrounding more official buildings amid the highest tensions the country has seen since Delhi unrest 3 years ago. The protesters in Bangkok continued to occupy the Finance Ministry building, which they stormed Monday and turned into their secondary command center. They plan to send groups to a range of other ministries and government offices around the capital Wednesday, said Ekanath Prompan, a spokesman for the protesters. Their objectives include the public health, labor, industry, social development, and science ministries, as well as a government complex that houses multiple agencies, notably the Department of Special Investigation. The number of demonstrators led by the opposition Democrat Party has declined from the huge gathering of roughly 100,000 people that assembled in Bangkok on Sunday. Eknath said the protesters believe their current numbers to be in the tens of thousands, perhaps as many as 50,000, but authorities estimate the number of demonstrators to be around 10,000, said Lt. Gen. Paradon Pathanathabut of the National Security Council. Certain sections of some roads in Bangkok have been shut down because of the number of protesters camping out and spilling into the streets, Paradon said. No confidence motion. Amid the tensions on the streets, Prime Minister Yingluck Shinawatra faces a no-confidence motion in Parliament put forward by the opposition as it tries to unseat the government through legal means. A vote is currently scheduled for Thursday, but the opposition's chances of success appear slim as Yingluck's party has a majority. Protesters are calling for an end to the government of Yingluck, sister of former Premier Thaksin Shinawatra, the telecommunications tycoon, who was ousted in a 2006 coup. Critics of the Thai Prime Minister accuse her of being a puppet of her older brother Thaksin, a deeply polarizing figure who was removed from power by the military while in New York in 2006. He has since lived in exile, except for a brief return in 2008, and was convicted by Thai courts for corruption and sentenced in absentia to 2 years in jail later that year, rising to a crescendo crescendo. More than 3 weeks of anti-government protest led by the Democrat Party rose to a crescendo with the big demonstration Sunday. The protesters have since taken their rallies directly to government office, TV networks, and military installations. At various points during the past few days, demonstrators have surrounded the Foreign Ministry, as well as the Agriculture and Interior Ministries. Yingluck has said authorities will absolutely not use violence to disperse the demonstrators, but the situation is delicate after Thai police issued an arrest warrant against protest leader Shatap Thaugsuban. President of the National Security Council said Wednesday that authorities are sticking with negotiation and trying to persuade Shatap to hand himself in. Authorities have extended the areas around Bangkok where police are enforcing an internal security law that restricts gatherings by demonstrators, political fault lines. The current protests have reanimated the tensions along Thailand's political fault lines, taxing Shinwatra's mostly rural support base on one side, the Bangkok-based elite and middle classes on the other, that left the country wrecked with turbulence for 4 years after the 2006 coup, culminating in a 2010 army crackdown on Thaksin supporters that left more than 90 dead. The current round of protest was triggered in response to a government-backed amnesty bill that could have extended a pardon to Thaksin Shinawatra and opened the door for his return to Thailand. The Thai Senate rejected the amnesty bill on November 11, but since then, demonstrations continued, with the opposition calling for the current government to be replaced by a new administration. More than a dozen countries have issued travel warnings for citizens to avoid areas near protests in Bangkok. Thailand travel warnings issued as thousands of protesters gather. Bangkok CNN. Though on the surface it seems like another typical day in central Bangkok, hot, muggy and busy with traffic snarls around town. Tension is rising as protesters continue to exert pressure on the Thai Prime Minister to step down. Thousands of demonstrators were expected to march on key ministerial buildings on Wednesday to demand an end to the government of Yingluck Shinawatra ahead of a no-confidence vote in Parliament on Thursday. The escalating political tension has prompted travel updates from 23 foreign governments, according to the Thai Foreign Ministry. Among the countries warning their citizens to be vigilant are the UK, the US, Canada, Australia, Germany, Sweden, and Singapore. Locals and tourists appear unconcerned. For those not plunged into official information sources, there are few signs of what's being broadcast around the world. Images of government ministries under siege. Rallies filled with thousands of cheering anti-government protesters and video of Yingluck explaining to the nation why she's implementing the Internal Security Act (ISA). The ISA gives law enforcement officials and the military additional powers, including the right to impose curfews, put up checkpoints, restrict the movement of demonstrators, and search for weapons. Away from the affected sites, it's pretty much life as normal in most part of wider Bangkok. But while it's easy to avoid protest, as of Wednesday morning, the situation had become extremely fluid, and increasingly worrisome to some observers. While the number of demonstrators led by the Democrat Party has declined from the 100,000 reported on Sunday, protesters claim that tens of thousands of people are still on the streets. Authorities say the figure is closer to 10,000. On Wednesday, they split into two or more groups, according to Agnes Promphen, a spokesman for the protesters. He told CNN they plan to march to a number of government buildings, including the ministers for public health, social development, labor, and science and technology. Another group is heading to a complex outside the city which houses a number of government offices. A primary target in his location is the Department of Special Investigation, a city accused to protest. The capital's residents have become accustomed to political upsprings, hence the business-as-usual attitude among locals. Thailand was racked with turbulence for 4 years after a 2006 coup, culminating in a 2010 army crackdown on supporters of ousted Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra, the older brother of the current Prime Minister. More than 90 people were killed in the violence. Foreign governments have warned their citizens to be vigilant, despite assurance from the Thai government that authorities will absolutely not use violence to disperse the demonstrators. On its website, the British Foreign and Commonwealth Office said a number of political demonstrations have taken place in various locations in Bangkok and elsewhere in Thailand since the start of November 2013. Further large-scale protests are taking place with little warning. At various locations in Bangkok, the main ongoing protest area situated along Ratchathamian Avenue, including Democracy Monument in Bangkok, has now expanded to include protests at a number of government buildings in central Bangkok. In its security message to citizens, the United States Embassy in Bangkok said, even demonstrations that are meant to be peaceful can turn confrontational and escalate into violence. Russian Foreign Ministry tells citizens to avoid Bangkok, though most government warnings advise citizens to avoid protest areas. Russian media reports said their foreign ministry advises tourists to avoid the capital completely. The possibility of further escalation of the unrest should not be ruled out, the ministry said in a statement quoted by news agency RIA. In this respect, we recommend that Russians avoid visiting Bangkok. Those already there should take due care, comply with law enforcement officers' demands and avoid crowded areas. Protest what protest? Security concerns notwithstanding. Some tourists who spoke with CNN didn't even realize protests were taking place in Bangkok. Others said they were aware of the situation but weren't concerned. British traveler Charles Rawson, 43, who is on a 10-day vacation with his family, said he was keeping an eye on governments. I have been reading the local papers to keep up on the political situation, for our hotel briefs us daily on the areas to avoid, he said while waiting for his hotel courtesy ferry to pick him up from the Spanhan-Taskins Pier. Tourism is a concern for the nation's travel industry right now, as Thailand enters its high season. According to the World Travel and Tourism Council, the Tourism and Travel Center has The tourism and travel sector contribute $27.99 billion, or 7.3% to Thailand's GDP in 2012. A report on state-run website MCOT cites a senior Bangkok Metropolitan Administration official as saying tourism revenue may fall 10% lower than projected if the political demonstrations continue. Ike, windy weather could crimp Thanksgiving travel plans. CNN, it's ugly out there, and it's only getting uglier. Tuesday has been a mess for much of the East Coast. A massive storm that started in California soaked a huge swath from Florida to New England, with snow and sleet falling in pockets of Pennsylvania and New York. This system isn't going away anytime soon. In fact, it could cause even more problems and headaches on Wednesday, especially if you are among the thousands at airports waiting to fly home for Thanksgiving. That's because winds are forecast to pick up at densely populated places in the Northeast in the next day or so. For drivers, big gusts mixed with drenching rains can slow things down any day. For air travelers, There is always a big trickle-down effect when places like New York's LA LaGuardia and Kennedy Airport, or those in Philadelphia and Boston experience wind delays. When this kind of stuff happens on one of the biggest travel days of the year, let's just say people along the East Coast may have many good reasons to give thanks this holiday season, but the weather likely won't be one of them. Storm blamed for Rex death. The expected issues shouldn't overshadow what this storm has already done and continued to do Tuesday. The system started on the West Coast, proving it might from the get-go. A 52-year-old man in Yuba County, California, died Thursday when a tree fell on top of a vehicle, a county sheriff's office said. Road conditions were blamed for the death of 2 people in New Mexico. 3 people were killed in an icy Phillip along Interstate 40 late Friday in northwest Texas. The weather also was blamed for 4 deaths in Oklahoma since late last week. Those were just some of the casualties from a storm that has led to more than 100 wrecks. There was more where that came from Tuesday. One stretch of the Pennsylvania Turnpike, about 20 miles east of Pittsburgh, saw a little of everything over the course of the day: snow, rain, ice, according to CNN's Shannon Travis. Snow was the issue for cities and towns along the Appalachian Mountains, all the way down to West Virginia, parts of upstate New York, including Buffalo and Syracuse, were seeing flakes on Tuesday night. Still, it wasn't, or at least won't be, especially chilly everywhere. The National Weather Service forecasts temperatures to rise into the 50s during the night in Philadelphia and Boston. But there, the temperature won't be the story so much as the wind speed. Sustained winds in New York, where the thermostat should hit 55 degrees by 5 a.m., will reach 19 to 24 mph, with gusts blowing as strong as 55 mph. It will not be much better Thursday, when the forecast cold breeze from the west at 21st to 21. When the forecast calls for breeze from the west at 21st to 24 mph with more potent gusts. Forget the rain. That wind could hamper the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade through the streets of Manhattan. The giant balloons that are the parade's trademarks, featuring characters from Hello Kitty to Snoopy to the Pillsbury Doughboy, won't soar if sustained winds exceed 23 mph that day, because of fears that the balloon handlers won't be able to control them. We have sergeants assigned to each of the balloons. New York Police Commissioner Ray Kelly said, They can be lowered all the way to the ground if the determination is made not to fly them. Slick roads, high winds. Chances are no one will miss the gigantic balloon versions of Papa Smurf or Pikachu around the dinner table on Thursday. But the same might not hold true for hundreds trying to fly out on airplanes over the coming days. As of Tuesday night, the weather's effect on flight was fairly minimal. As of 10:30 p.m., 158 flights have been cancelled nationwide, with another 84 scheduled Wednesday. According to the air travel tracking website FlightAware.com, the highest number of pre-Thanksgiving Day cancellations with 28 so far is Northern New Jersey's New York Liberty International Airport, the site says. There is a possibility this situation could turn for the worst, quickly leading to major delays, if not more cancellations, CNN's. Meteorology until estimates if winds blow as forecast. New York metro area airports could see average delays of 2 to 3 hours, and Boston's Logan Airport could be even worse. This wouldn't just affect those flying in and out of 3 airports, or others like Washington's Dulles or Reagan that could be similarly affected. There's a ripple effect because of the logistic of carefully coordinated, according to the Sported. There is a possibility this situation could turn for the worst, quickly leading to major delays, if not more cancellations. CNN's meteorology unit estimates if winds blow as forecast, New York metro area airports could see average delays of 2 to 3 hours, and Boston's Logan Airport could be even worse. This wouldn't just affect those flying in and out of those airports, or others like Washington's Dulles or Reagan that could be similarly affected. There's a ripple effect because of the logistic of carefully coordinated schedules and connecting flights that could affect many of the 3.14 million people that AAA projects will fly this weekend. In expectation of such headaches, Major airlines like Delta, U.S. Airways, JetBlue, and United have already relaxed their policies by letting some customers change their reservations without a fee. Storm prompts airlines to relax travel policies. Still, the vast majority of travelers, 43.4 million by AAA's count, won't be in the air but on the road. For them, the combination of strong winds and slick surfaces, even if they aren't coated with snow or ice, could lead to problems. In other words, make a plan if you will be among these millions over the next few days, packing snacks and patience in case you come to a crawl, and as always, drive safely.